I'm gonna try to explain what my problem is. Like not like here's my problem. I can't stand. No, more like, what is my problem? What is it that I can't stand about myself? Let's just start with that. What is it that I can't stand about myself? Well, number one is any built up anger that exists for whatever reason. Like, for instance, when I know that people are in charge of the planet's system, and the planet hasn't changed, but I know that they have authority in doing stuff, and they even seem like they have changed in the spirit where I believe I helped them eliminate the enemy that they have been fighting with. Before I hopped on to the YouTube platform, there's an enemy that you have that over the time period of beating me to a pole, you have relinquished that demon inside of you, your own worst enemy, because when you take your frustration out on somebody, and over time when you do that, that person shows you in return love, respect, long suffering, understanding. So that's what happened, where I've helped people get rid of their enemy inside of them, but that's only because they beat the piss out of me. So in return, it's like this. I help people get rid of their enemy inside of them by being a beating post, and by treating them, showing them love regardless, and even knowing like who it is that's been doing it. So in return, what happens is you transferred your enemy to me. You transferred those demons in my direction. The trolls and agents that came after me for the past 5.5 years, I've absorbed a lot of mental harassment, enough harassment that some people would kill themselves because they can't handle it. The reality of waking up to the Gang Stalking Corporation being, it's not just in one specific area, it's in every single area that I step with my own feet. It's there. So that's a pretty tough reality to just suck it up and deal with. And then to know, who's doing it to you. There's so many different twists and turns that mentally I have to wrap my head around and just accept and move on from it. But over time, when you beat somebody every day, or you harass them all the time, and because when I first started the YouTube platform, I didn't really get harassed until within a year's period of time, within those 12 months, when King Neb had time to respond. And so then for the next 3 years, after the 2018, when that year came around, the next 3 years, I developed a lot of anger because of the backstabbing, the fakery, the lies, the pretending, just all of it meeting new friends that I thought supposedly, and then somehow they demonically changed. And that was the surprising part. Like, how the hell are you such a great friend, or whatever you say, much love, brother, and then here comes backstabbing videos, and here comes spew coming out of your mouth, and I need to repent of everything. And you're the liars. You're the ones attacking me, telling me I need to repent. So that developed the anger right then and there. And then it didn't help with taking Xanax every single day. So I was still like sleeping in a sense, waking up to the reality of everything, with more demons piled on top of me, with people watching as I'm not even on the YouTube uploading the video, but they're surveilling and watching and laughing, because it's like they transfer their demon over to me, and it's funny. And then they just get to watch you be tormented. Or even when I'm doing videos and I'm speaking with anger, and it's they know why, because they're the ones doing it. It's all fun and games. When you attack somebody so much from every angle, and every person that was ever a friend from the beginning, just about, not saying every single person did it, but regardless, agents everywhere. Kind agents, backstabbing demonic agents. Serpent race agents, Adamic race agents. The serpent race agents just seemed to be more like they had more venom in their mouth. So over time, I had to learn how to shut that open valve that I allowed you to transfer to my mind. Whoever you are that's still watching my video from the beginning. Some of you's changed completely. You got rid of your enemy because of me. And that enemy that you got rid of, well, the enemy's with me, because I'm the one that absorbed it from you. So it takes time for that enemy, for me to cast it back out of myself, because I took it from you, and you're free, but you're watching me at times struggle with it. So it's all how you handle it next. So to Jeffrey Daugherty, I want to apologize. I'm sorry for calling you a dick. Getting offended. You did call it. You did say, it's not like a surprise. You did say, I'm gonna piss some people off right now. And I guess it's like, Jesus ain't real. Relax, man. He's not real. It's okay. Well, I already partially knew that, because it's all a story. But the other portion of it isn't true, because Jesus is real, and it's a spirit. It's the Christ spirit. It's real because it's real inside of me. That's how I know it's real. Now, the story of Jesus walking and on the water and just doing all those miracles and laying hands on people, and all of a sudden they just get up and start walking, and it's a true story, but it's not, because the way it's true, yeah, you can lay hands on people with showing them certain videos and casting a demon out of them. It's just that easy. But that's from the other side. That's the part that's the part I know is true, but I can't prove it. I can't see it. It's not in front of my face. All these people I feel like I helped, and in my own life, there's no sign of it. And it's been 5.5 years. There's no difference in my life. It actually only gets more challenging. And I know I need to be patient because I want a timeline. I want to know when this is over. I've been in jail before for a year and a half, thinking I'm going to do 5 to 10 with 5 aggravated assaults on 5 cops, F1 felonies from the gate when they beat my ass. They beat the piss out of me. I didn't lay my hands on anybody. However, I put them in a position to be in that situation where I had to get beat down, and I still got away and left, and I got caught the next day. But not knowing when I'm getting out of jail what is the suckiest feeling, because other people, they get sentenced right away, and then it's like they do a year and a half sentence like I do, but they only do about 6 months, and then they go to a work release. Or some get immediate work release. So they come into jail. It's like, yeah, I just got sentenced. I'm going to work release tomorrow. And I'm sitting there like, oh, the fucking hell, all these cases open. It's 4 different cases open. And you can't go to work release with cases open. So after a year and a half of sitting in jail, I didn't know I was getting out until the actual day I got out. And then I still didn't even believe I was getting out and then when I left the gates, I thought they were going to tell me to come back, and then when I went home, I thought they're going to call me and say, "Oh, you got to come back here. You're open case in Jersey," because it was never settled. Although they came and I thought it was taken care of, and they were going to come get me and take me to court, and they never did. They just let me sit in there, and then so anyway, not knowing when I'm getting out, not knowing the timeline. It's not a fun thing. And I know that everybody that I help cast those demons out, you all know the damn script. Not everybody, not the agents that are working underneath the people that they don't even know who they really are, like kings of the earth. So not everybody actually knows the ending. And then it always seems like, you know, and it's my fault for falling into it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen any moment. It's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to happen this month. It's guaranteed. We're at the door. It's the precipice. But then you go and listen to Stephen James over there, and then you get more depressed because he's talking about a longer timeline. It's like, come on, man. You keep saying this. We're at the beginning. Yeah, Rabbit thinks that we're just starting. It's a 3-year process. Just getting ready to start. Well, guess what, Steve? That was 4 years ago. What the frick process was it? And why are we at the beginning now of a age of Aquarius, or whatever the hell that means? How is it that we're constantly at the beginning when it's been 5.5 years? So that's the part that is frustrating. Battling it. I know I'm not by myself, but I am walking on this planet Earth by myself. There's no physical contact with the people that, you know, they know me better than I know myself. And then listening to Jacob Israel, the past few videos, why does it seem like my timeline is right on track, where October 21st, this year, the 31st, 11/11, that it's going to happen this year, that it gets settled this year, but then Stephen James wants to keep pushing it to next year, possibly to 24, year 2024, the great eclipse. Yeah, but what's going to happen on that great eclipse anyway? When is it that it changes and the work that I put in actually pays off in my physical life, where I'm living it? I'm longing for that moment, because obviously, yeah, that's great, Robin. I can get anybody's attention that I want. That's lovely. But then what are you going to do when you get the attention of the people you were trying to get the attention of? I don't know. I'm not sure. I just wanted to test to see if I can get Jeffrey Doherty's attention, because he seems like a somebody that happens to know everything just like all the other people. Can I get his attention? Yes, you can. But what are you doing? Are you doing the same thing that you were doing with Derek Bros in the beginning, where you started to come after him for whatever reason you thought he was lying or something, and then you feel like the dick in the end? Well, yes, that's exactly what I'm doing, Robin, because I am your enemy, and I am the dick. I know, I can't stand you, so you need to leave. It's a twin system inside of it. It couldn't be any more true when Jonathan Clegg has been trying to tell us your enemy is inside of your own vessel. It's good and bad, and I experience it on a daily basis. So I'm sorry for coming at you in that way, Jeff. I just that enemy, my enemy side of me, likes to get me in a mindset of slight irritation, and then I'll build off of that, and I'll keep getting irritated because I know people know the world strip and it hasn't changed, but yet, you know what? It ain't my timing. It's God's timing, and God's timing is always the most frustrating timing, because you want to force things and make things happen, and they don't. So I don't know who Jeffrey really is. I don't know, besides he showed me that, you know, there's a possibility that it's Hitler behind the mask. So at least that's what he's implying. That's what you're implying. So all I can do is show you what people are implying, and I'm not always right. Just like Joe Biden. Well, who the hell is Joe Biden? Like, which one of you are Joe Biden? And then I get confused. And I look at Jacob Israel, and then I look at Stephen James at times, like, well, wait a minute. And then I look at Joe Biden, who talks about Obama's running Joe Biden. And I always consider there may be that one person may have a couple different YouTube channels. And I may be communicating with them thinking they're different people, but they're the same. I'm racking my brain trying to figure things out, and it's not like I can just stop doing it. I can try, but it naturally, I want to figure it out, because I just want to know who everybody is. I want everybody to just come clean, and it makes it easier. But who am I for you to come clean? But I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop with the attack. I'm done with it. There's no point. I don't like when even recently, there's still times where I make my videos and I rewatch it for timestamps, especially when somebody else does a video and they start talking about things that I just was talking about in my video. So I got to go back to my own video and watch it, and then that's how I get convicted. I see myself. I don't like the pattern that develops from when I drift off into ramble world. Sometimes I need to stop, take a moment to think about things. Now again, it's easier for everybody else to say that who has basically lived forever, because you had plenty of time to, work on your mind. Like those of you that, like, for instance, Hitler, You've been around quite some time, huh? It's not really what you look like, because that's all you did was you disappeared. You never left. You guys don't leave, you just disappear and you become another character. Because what you truly look like is whatever. You can just be a regular looking person, and all these actors in Hollywood and rock stars and everything, you all just are literally under a mask, bodysuit. And when you die out, you can go live your life now. Or even, let's say, who's the most famous? Donald Trump. Donald Trump, he can just, as the eternal being that he is underneath the mask and bodysuit, let's just say he's a light being, and he doesn't die. But meaning like light being, the bright light, different type of terrestrial body or extraterrestrial body. And you can't really walk around on planet Earth like that, so you have to put on a suit. But let's just say you're a regular looking, let's say you are a real human being and you're just a regular looking person, but you're a famous person. As you're famous, you go around, you get praised by people in your famous suit, and then maybe you let somebody else walk around that same suit, and it's like, oh my God, Donald Trump, and then you get worshipped like that, and it's not even you. But truly, it's like the Trumpster has a completely just different look, and we don't even know what he looks like, and he just walks among us as a regular person. And that's how you guys live your life, where you can be worshipped as gods when you have a desire to be worshipped as God, and then you can step out of your suit and just walk the earth and be normal and be unbothered by anybody. I don't experience it. I'm bothered by everybody. Not that everybody bothers me, but I'm bothered. People bother me purposely. They try to just bother me. That's what the corporation does. They gang stalk you. They try to bother you. So it's all about bearing with me. Can you guys forgive me for being blinded and immature and childish? Because you got to understand this. I'm only 5.5 years old on the YouTube platform, waking up out of a coma and realizing that the entire world is controlled by all of you guys that have YouTube channels. And the fact that I can't wake anybody up down here on Earth no matter how much I try, and it doesn't even matter. It's pointless. Everybody's controlled. How's that going to change? Well, something drastic has to happen, like a big explosion in the Philadelphia area, where something has something to do with what I had seen before it happens, and then there's a way to get those people's attention who are controlled, because it proves that there's a shift in the power exchange, and it's in favor of me. So let's just say Jeff is referring to SJD as James because he commented on the channel, and then Stephen James is there, and everybody knows each other, and Jeff, you know what? Come to think of it, SJD, Stephen James, Sean, don't you talk about Jeff a lot? Isn't there a Jeff that lives with you? I mean, I know you're not gonna, if you even address it, you're never gonna tell the truth until time comes where it's like, yeah, well, I mean, you do tell the truth, but the words off of your mouth, it doesn't sound like it's the truth. But I've learned to read between those lines and around them in order to get the damn truth out of everybody. I'm pretty sure you would say, you mentioned Jeff this, Jeff's going to help me, Jeff that. And you got Jeffrey Doherty over there that out of nowhere, I watched one video, and I think it was about King Neb, and he said Jesus didn't exist, and so I got offended at it because I know that I've been learning that a lot of things don't exist. A lot of things are fake, and it's disappointing, to say the least. But at the same time, it feels good to know the truth. But why does it got to be so painful? Well, because everything's a lie. And now you're learning that everything is a lie. And the reality of that has to sink in. And then you got to get over it. And you got to move on from that. But the one way that the anger has left for the Gang Stalking Corporation in full, because defeating the corporation means, when I tell you I defeated the Gang Stalking Corporation, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Oh, it's still up and running, and it's in full force everywhere. But what I did was I defeated it myself mentally. And that same lingering demon that was lingering around with the last drips of frustration has left my building. And the same thing has to happen for the past couple days, my irritation for what I'm perceiving, and then I'm in the wrong. I'm the one accusing Jeff of, whatever, just being a dickbag and telling the truth, and don't tell me the truth. I lie to me, damn it. Well, that's my flesh. That's my enemy. My enemy is my flesh. The fleshly reactions, fleshly knee-jerk reactions, relapsing back into the porn scene for a day. Just making sure that I'm not controlled by anybody, but yet my enemy has control, as I think I'm not being controlled by it any longer. But I am. And then it's the same thing with having that little bit of anger left over from the Gang Stalking Corporation, because the anger comes from, it's so ridiculous, it's so pointless, there's no point in what you're doing. Why did you just cut out? Why did you just walk in front? Why did you do that? What are you doing? Oh, you're not going to stop no matter what I say or do? It's still going to happen. Okay, so you're still wasting your life, but you're controlled by it. So that was the last bit of frustration I had. And the way that it left is, even if it wasn't true, even if it was a delusional thought, which I know it isn't, but even if it was, the way that the anger left, ironically enough, is by believing that it's in my own family. Believing that the possibility of everybody being controlled in my own family, just thinking of that alone. Not saying that it's true, because I don't truly know. I can only tell in close encounters when I'm around people long enough that I can only tell by over time. Okay, that's absolutely a tactic. Absolutely. Yep. There you go. And so it's not like jumping the gun immediately, because I didn't want to believe it. And then when I finally see it's true, okay, well, there you go. So then what developed from that thought alone was more compassion for the individual doing it. And then the more I think of it like that, well, then how can I be mad at the other gang stalkers that I don't know, that I have hatred for, when it's in my own damn family? I don't hate anybody in my family. I love everybody in my family, but I don't love the lie, but I also know that you're not going to tell me the truth. So yeah, it's a disappointing feeling, because who do you trust? Who can you talk to? What's the point of talking to anybody about the things that I know happening that are going to change in the planet when everybody's controlled anyway? So the same thing needed to happen, where it's experience. I can only experience something, and then I finally get it. I learn. It's like, oh, okay, I gotta stop that for real. That's it. I'm done with that. And then I truly shut the door and I'm finished with it. So how do you react towards my ignorance? Well, if you say things like, we don't need a savior, we need a leader, and I have no problem working with you, in whatever way I don't know. I don't know what is it that I can do besides speak into the airwaves and be a leader in that direction, where even if I fall down, even if I fail, the leader is about the example of how you handled the failure. Like when I get beat down by the agents and trolls over the time, how do I handle it? Well, I handled it with anger towards you guys. I came back after you, accused you of everything, called you names, and again, I want to apologize for all of that. Everything that I'm shutting the door on my past. There's a new chapter for sure, and the old me was necessary. Every bit of it necessary. I don't regret any of it. I just want to apologize for not handling it in different ways that I could have, but that's the way that I needed to learn. So just try to understand that. You can only learn when you hit that brick wall, and then you get all beat up and bloody faced and turn around and say, oh, well, that's not the right direction to go, obviously. So it's all about learning. I had to learn the hard way. This is not an easy thing to do, which is communicate. I mean, it's been getting easier, but it wasn't in the beginning. Communicating with different spirits throughout the world. And I know what I have to offer, but I also know that enemy inside of me needs to be squashed once and for all. And I can only bring it to God's attention and ask him to remind me of any time that I start to get out of line. Just remind me of what I said and how I felt and how immature it is to be that way. So that would be, most likely that's what I need, is the experience of doing it and then calling myself out before it gets out of hand. I'm not trying to come after people. Here's what the frustrating part is. I guess what I can say to sum it up. I have all this authority in this world. I can get people's attention at the drop of a dime just by making a video and knowing that the person's gonna get the message, and then what? Well, my life doesn't change. I still go to work every day or whatever, however many days. I'm still paying bills. I'm not living like you guys are, which is you do whatever you want. You go to and fro, up and down and across the plane of existence. And so I guess that part builds up frustration because, yeah, I mean, I got all this authority, but it sure doesn't seem that way. My life, my physical life hasn't demonstrated that, even though I know it's true. And so I just need to be patient. That's all I can do is just, I have no choice. But I need to be patient while I'm waiting to be patient. I need a double portion of patience. So that's what I'm asking God to give me. Give me a double portion of patience. And know that it's all going to pan out. But when I listen to Jonathan Kleck and Jacob Israel, it seems like it seems like it's coming. Like this is truly it. This year is it. And then I listen to Stephen James and Sean, and I get depressed because when he says nothing's going to happen, it usually doesn't freaking happen. It's the only time he tells the truth, and it sickens me. It's like, nothing. Robin thinks that nothing's going to happen till the year 2050. We're just getting started next year. Right. Sure. Can you blame me? Can anybody truly blame me? I was blindsided by all this. Blindsided. So how you handle it in return, if you handle it the way I've handled you, meaning over time I've forgiven you, I've shown love anyway, even people that hated me, I'll just make jokes and stuff and do videos and show you that, you know what, it truly doesn't bother me anymore. And I understand the ones that lie about me. I get it. It's just part of your job. It's what you have to do. People in real life that I come across, you're controlled by the app or by the ear. Or maybe you're half robot. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it was from birth that everybody's in on it, like the Truman Show. And at some point, everybody's gonna know. We're all gonna know the truth, and that's that. I'm dying for that. I would die just for all the truth to be known in this planet, even if I died and the planet now can walk around in truth. No more gang stalking, unnecessary stalking people's spirits. So if you handle it the way that I've handled it, then it makes it easier for me to get rid of that last bit of anger. Just like the Gang Stalking Corporation. Just the simple fact that I think it's in my family, it eliminated the anger towards everybody else on the planet. That's how I defeated the Gang Stalking Corporation.